Hi everyone, welcome to Target Pilates Online and to today's class where we're going to be working on extension. So basically this class you'll see, and you will look at this in terms of how you view other exercises now. Very often in Pilates we've got the same kind of action repeated in different positions, which is effectively what this class is, but with the goal of really making us as long as possible. So the concept that's really key in this class is what we call opposition. So the idea that both ends of the body are stretching to the furthest expression that you can achieve without altering any of the normal anatomy cues that we would give you. So we wouldn't want you to do it so you were sort of hitching or hiking a hip, for example. We would want all the alignment to remain the same, but creating as much sense of stretch as possible by just using that kind of verbal cue in terms of how you view and interpret the exercise. So we're going to start lying on our backs with a really simple exercise, and then we'll effectively repeat something very similar in some different positions, and it should be like a real nice feel-good class, this one. So let's come and lie down. And as ever, soles of the feet flat on the floor. I'm in a neutral spine position, and the hips are really key for this. So watch that you don't sort of find that odd halfway house where you're sort of slumped in the lower back. We want to imagine that the hip bones and pubic bone are level, and that might mean for some of us that there is actually quite a space underneath the lumbar spine, but we want the back of the rib cage to be heavy. Now, best you got on that for now, and it will improve as we go if you're starting and you haven't moved much today. So hands down by your side. We're going to start with heel slide, so opposite arm and leg. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, slide your left heel away and take your right arm above your head. Now just really reach apart on that diagonal, so fingertips and heel, then slide it all the way back in without moving the pelvis, so keeping that strong connection of the abdominals there. Inhale. Exhale, opposite side, so left arm, right leg, stretch, reaching through the heel so the foot's flexed. And don't worry if the arm, like mine, does not touch the floor. The bigger thing is it's reaching for the wall behind you without the shoulder elevating. Now slide back in. Other side. Now we move a bit faster. So we slide away, left leg, right arm, stretch, and then slide everything back to the middle. Inhale. Exhale, slide and stretch, reach apart, and then come back through the middle. Slide and reach. Slide back in. And again, 6, sliding away, stretching, abdominals in. This is a fantastic exercise because it's so accessible, but it's doing so much. So this is almost one of those ones where you're like, right, if I had a beginner student or someone that perhaps didn't have too much fitness or mobility, this would be a real great one to get them started because it's lovely and safe and suitable really for most people. That said, if you're more than 28 weeks pregnant, no. But other than that, it's a pretty good one. Come all the way back into the middle. Now let's roll onto our side. So again, all the usual cues that I would give you for lying on your side. So I'm resting crook of elbow. I've got head, shoulders, hips, heels in one long line. And I'm going to leave my bottom leg bent. If you're more advanced, you could have it straight or you could be on an angle, up to you. But I'm really focusing on how long can I be. So lower side of the waistline is lifted, arm and leg are long, stretch them apart, so it's same arm and leg this time, and then bend, elbow to knee. Stretch it out and reach. Bend it in. Stretch out and reach. And bend it in. And 4, stretch. Don't let that shoulder elevate as much as you can. Keeping everything as still as you can. Same with the pelvis. So fold at the hip crease, I should say. Last one. Now let's take arm and leg slightly forward and back and just reach on that diagonal for a second. Hold and stretch there. Just breathe into it. Now if you can, Sweep the arm back, bend the leg, and just take a hold and stretch your quad there for a second. If you can't get hold of your foot, first of all, check how far forward your knee is. You want to ideally, get your knee in line with your hips, it's vertical. If it's still not possible, get a strap, because it's such a great thing. Just loop it around the foot and just hold onto that. Just release that and change ends. You could just turn over, of course you could. I always like to be facing you guys for the most part, so that's why I've done it this way. So we are again lining ourselves up, so we've got head, shoulders, hips, heels in one long line. Bottom leg is straight, top arm is straight, and then just bend and straighten. Reach in opposition. Bend and straighten. Abs are in. And again, 3, and stretch, and 4, and stretch, and 5. Reach everything apart from the middle. Last one, and stretch. Now, arm forward, leg back. So we're on that slight diagonal. And then bend the leg and take a hold of the foot, however you can grab a hold of it. And you can go on inside, that's a bit more sort of yoga, but I quite like that sometimes. It just sort of opens the chest a little more, but see what's working for you today. And then let's go ahead and let that down. Flip over now onto your front. So we've got legs out straight and arms out straight. So feet in parallel, arms in line with shoulders, legs in line with hips, and we lift and reach, so swimming, just one at a time and lower down. Lift left arm, right leg, and lower down. And again, 3, down, hips are still, abs in, 4, down, 5, just keep looking straight down, but lift the head with the arm. Keep the hips nice and open, the abs in. Last 2. Last one. Release, hands under shoulders, and push back, child's pose. So just letting the back round the other way sometimes can get a little sticky there. And then come up into all fours. So we've got knees under hips, hands under shoulders. Step arm and leg forward. Now reach and stretch. And place it down. Let's go to the other side. Reach and stretch. Keep the hips as square as you can. And step in. We're just doing 6 of these. So step, lift. And be as long as you can. And again, step, lift. Sit, reach, and again I've got a flexed foot here. And last one, step, lift, release it down, and again let's round into cat and lengthen into cow. Round into cat, lengthen into cow. Last one, round, cat, and lengthen into cow. Find neutral and sit back to the heels, and then roll to come up. Now let's just lie down. And when we do, just let everything go out long. And hopefully, just notice now, you should feel really flat to the floor. It's the best way I can describe it. Like, you're lovely and long and open, but everything's just kind of relaxed, like you lay on like a nice soft mattress, but in a lovely way, like the tension has gone. So just by stretching everything out a little bit on its axis, hopefully that has just given you a little bit of something. That's a lovely thing to do just for 10 minutes, just as a sort of feel good flow. So when we're ready, let's come back up and turn and face front. So let's see, we can remember that using our position is useful in nearly every Pilates class. It's a fantastic piece of technique and visualization to use, but also, as we've seen, a little bit of extension can go a very long way to making you feel better. I really hope you've enjoyed this class. As ever, let me know what you think below, and I will see you again soon.
Hi guys, this is Christina from Target Pilates Online. If you've enjoyed this class today, why not check out our website for our entire back catalogue of videos and courses, weekly 60-minute class and bi-monthly live events, all totally ad-free. Come visit us today at targetpilates.online or click on the link below this video.